Eruvin Daf Tzadik Test. Today's email comes to us from Mendel Mitz from Buenos Aires, Argentina. And he says, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for your time and effort and dedication that you have this year. Even while you were traveling, you were bothering making charts and diagrams, and it helped me better understand the dapim throughout this complicated Masechta. Thank you, Mendel Mitz. Starting a brand new Mishnah. It is permitted for one to stand in one rishus and move objects in another rishus. So you could stand in Rishus HaYachid and move an object in Rishus HaRabim, provided that you don't move that object 4 amas. And the same would apply if you stand in Rishus HaRabim, you can move an object in Rishus HaYachid. However, you may not spit or relieve yourself from one rishus to the other. According to Rabbi Yehuda, it's even worse than that. If you dislodge the spit in the mouth, you cannot walk 4 amas. Rav, as we said the other day, holds that if you're walking in Rishus HaRabim, you lift an object above your head, so it's in a makom p'tur, it's above 10 tefachim, you're still chayiv. From our Mishnah that says that you can't stand in Rishus HaYachid and move an object more than 4 amas, it doesn't say in our Mishnah whether you're chayiv mid'oraisa or mid'orabanan, so there's no raya to Rava one way or the other. If a person stood in one rishus and relieved himself in another rishus, he's chayiv achatos, even though his body is not 4 tefachim, and you need an akira, you have to lift up the object and place it down from a place that has 4 tefachim to a place that has 4 tefachim. And the answer is because when he decides, and it's good for him to do the akira, that machshava, that intent creates 4 tefachim. The same would apply if you throw an object for a dog to catch. Now, the dog's mouth is not 4 tefachim, yet you are chayiv because your machshava creates that makam chashav of 4 tefachim. The Gemara remains in a teiku. What happens if a person himself, his body, his bladder is in one rishus, and he relieves himself? The exit happens in the other rishus. Do we go by where it dislodges from the body or where it exits? The Gemara remains in a teiku. If a person is eating fruit that's truma, in order for truma to become tama, you have to do hechsher truma. You have to sprinkle it with one of the 7 liquids. One of them happens to be spit. The Gemara has a question or a machlaikas. What is spit inside the mouth? Since it never left the body, is it considered part of the body or it's considered spit? So if you were to take your hands that are tamei, and they are shniyos, and that is if they touch the truma, they would create a psul in the truma. What happens if you stick your finger in your mouth and you touch the food? Machlokes Rameir says it's a hechsher tuma. In other words, the spit works as a liquid. Rabbi Yossi says it's not, and Rabbi Yehuda says it depends. If you dislodge the spit and you swirl it in your mouth, then it's as if it left your body, and it's machshir l'kabel tuma. Rabbi Yochanan says that Rabbi Yehuda took back our Mishnah. In our Mishnah, he says all you have to do is dislodge it. You don't have to swirl it. In Masechtas Kelim, he took that back and he says you have to swirl it, and that's how Rabbi Yehuda ended off saying that you have to swirl it. Rish Lakish says no, he never took it back. Our Mishnah is talking about phlegm. Phlegm, you don't have to swirl. It's already dislodged, it's already as if it left the body. But Rabbi Yochanan proves from a brayso that talks about phlegm and spit in the same sentence. In other words, they have the same halacha. Rish Lakish continues and says that if a person has phlegm in his mouth and he doesn't move to the side, he spits it out right in front of his Rebbe, he's chayev miso, as the pasuk says, kol misanei ohavu maves, all my haters love death. Masniyai, we read it masniyai, not misanei, people that cause other people to hate the Torah, and they say, look, here's a Torah Jew, and this is how he's acting, that deserves the punishment of death. The Mishnah says, it's usher to stand in one domain and drink in the other domain. Don't stand in Rishus HaYachid in your house, stick your head out the window to drink, unless you stick your head and your entire body out. And the Gzeira is that we're concerned, since it's something that he wants and needs, he might take the cup from the Rishus HaRabim into Rishus HaYachid and vice versa. If a person is standing the same case, but rather Rishus HaYachid and Rishus HaRabim, he's standing in Rishus HaYachid and wants to drink in a caramelis, which is not a Rishus HaYachid, not a Rishus HaRabim. Abaya holds it's usher. According to Rava, that's a Gzeira l'Gzeira. The whole caramelis is only Issa d'Rabbanan, and to add another Gzeira that perhaps he might take the cup to him, that's a Gzeira to a Gzeira. Abaya proves it from our Mishnah. We have 3 cases in our Mishnah. Person standing in Rishus HaYachid, drinking Rishus HaRabim. Person standing in Rishus HaRabim, drinking Rishus HaYachid. And then the Mishnah says, V'chein begas, and so in a wine press. Abaya says that obviously means a 3rd case, person standing in a caramelis. Rava says no. V'chein begas is not even talking about Shabbos, it's talking about Meiser. The halacha is that if you drink from Meiser, from fruit, before it's finished completely, you don't have to take a meiser. So if a person drinks his head and most of his body is over the gas, over the wine press, he doesn't have to take a meiser. That's what the Mishnah is coming to tell us. According to Rabbi Meir, at least. According to Rabbi Eliezer, if a person dilutes the wine, that's it. Then it becomes a staple food, it becomes a food, and therefore it's chayiv and meiser. Chachamim say no. If you dilute the wine with hot water, then you'll never pour it back into the vat, and therefore it's kavua and you chayiv meiser. But if it's with cold water, you might pour it back. It's not a finished product yet. Says the Mishnah, if a person is standing in Rosh Hashanah, he cannot take water directly from a gutter, which is within 3 tefachim of the roof, because the gutter is considered Rosh Hayachid, and he's taking something from Rosh Hayachid to Rosh Hashanah. But he could catch the water coming off the gutter in mid-air, because then the water is no longer part of the Rosh Hayachid. A downspout, which is 3 tefachim away from the roof, then you could even drink directly out of the downspout, or put your kli on the downspout, even if it's within 10 tefachim of the ground. If the opening of the downspout is 4 by 4 tefachim, then the downspout becomes a carmelis, and therefore it's usher to take the water out of the carmelis. It's coming from one rishus, a carmelis, to the rishus harabim. Says the Mishnah, if there's a bar, there's a pit in the middle of rishus harabim, and the chulya, there's a rim around the pit that's 10 tefachim, you could draw water from your window into the pit. According to Rav Huna, we're talking about a pit that's 4 tefachim away from the wall, and those 4 tefachim are rishus harabim. You could draw water from your rishus hayachid, even though you're going over rishus harabim, because the pit is considered a makom ptur. According to Rabbi Yochanan, the pit is right on the wall of your house. So what's the big chiddush? You're going from rishus hayachid to rishus hayachid. It shouldn't be a problem. The answer is, the chiddush is that, let's say there's 5 tefachim depth in the pit and 5 tefachim of a rim, and they're counted as 1 10 tefachim rishus. You could pour water out of your window into a pile of trash that's 10 tefachim if it's a communal trash pile, and we're not concerned that somebody else is going to come and remove the trash pile. We are concerned, as we've seen a story with Rebbe, there was a person that lived in a mavi, and there's one side of the mavi was trash, the other side was water. He didn't want to say if that's mutter to carry in that mavi or asur. On the one hand, you have to be concerned that they're going to remove the trash, and that is because he's a single individual. He's an individual. Somebody might remove the trash and he won't know about it. Therefore, he didn't say that it's okay to carry in that mavi, but by a tzibur, it's mutter. Have a wonderful day.